guys, welcome to another episode of Glitter and Garbage. I'm Justine Marino here with Mark Ellis, comedian extraordinaire. Mark, you've got some dates coming up.
I've got some dates, yeah, not with ladies.
No, with you people, the fans.
With the real people that I really want to see at night.
Yes.
After a couple drinks.
Yes.
Audiences. I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas at the Looney Bin, August 7th through 10th. And then I'm in San Francisco, August 24th, the Friday, I want to say. So, got some dates coming up.
That's how my dates always are. Like, I think it's this date. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be in Columbus, Ohio, August 14th, 10 p.m., one show, headlining show for the Columbus Comedy Festival. So come on out.
Cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know Columbus had a comedy festival.
They sure do.
Most famous person to come out of Columbus. Now, you may throw Neil Armstrong at me. I don't know if he's from Columbus. I know he's from Ohio.
I just know Matt Rife is from Ohio.
That's a very famous person from Ohio.
Right?
But not the greatest.
Okay.
The greatest and should be the most famous, if not, from Columbus, Ohio. Say it with me at home. Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. You talk about machining some Junior Bacon cheeseburgers back in the day.
Oh, that was you back in the day?
That was my pre-Little League and post-Little League snack.
Oh, my friend's snack. I love that that's a snack.
You get a JBCJ on the way there and a JBCJ on the way back.
My friends and I, we would go and be really stoned, and we would get a Frosty, fries, and nuggets were they were all on the dollar menu, so it was like $3.
Yeah, and that was back in the days of pure fast food.
Yeah.
Now, were the ingredients pure? Of course not.
No.
I mean, I was raised on McDonald's milkshakes in the 80s that were found out to be largely made of sawdust. And my parents give me a McDonald's milkshake, and then they were like, yeah, Mark always has a tummy ache after. My dad was a doctor, and it took him 3 years to figure out
oh my
hey,
God.
I think it might be these milkshakes.
Yeah.
So then they got rid of the sawdust. But back when in the 90s, Wendy's, when I was really growing up, they had one flavor of Frosty.
Chocolate.
And it was Frosty flavor.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I think it's too limiting to say that flavor was chocolate.
No, it was like a chocolatey.
There's some vanilla in there.
It was Frosty.
It was a Frosty flavor.
It was Frosty.
And it was delicious. And you could take your fries, dip it. You know, if you're a Star Wars fan like me, you made a little Sarlacc pit.
I love it.
And now there's all sorts of different I haven't had a Frosty in man, that's if you look at the fast food menu items that I ate the most when I was a kid and that I haven't had as an adult, I probably haven't had a Frosty, Justine, 20 years.
Oh, I definitely haven't had a Frosty in 20 years, probably.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
You want to break our seal together?
I might shit my pants.
Well, I think we both are.
I haven't had dairy in
know.
Fucking 10 years.
We're going to machine a Frosty.
We're going to machine a Frosty. You guys, what a great episode this is going to be today.
Setting the template, putting the pressure all on these shoulders right out of the gate.
Well, we walked in, and already it's a great day.
It's a good day.
Because we had a celebrity sighting just now in the lobby on the way in to All Things Comedy.
And it made sense to me. I didn't even blink or stop my stride. It felt so natural, and I'll tell you why. I happened to be watching last night, for no reason in particular, a little film called Drag Me to Hell.
Okay.
Starring Justin Long.
Oh, interesting.
And who is here in the lobby today?
Justin Long. You know what's funny? I just read there was a headline in one of the pop culture, I forget. All of my Explore page is just pop culture, mindless pop culture facts. One thing was, it said that Justin Long had recently said, either on a podcast or an article, that he shit the bed one night next to Kate Bosworth. And her reaction let him know that she is the one.
Aw, that's nice.
So as soon as we walked in, I was like, I literally hours ago read about him shitting the bed, and now here he is.
And I literally hours ago saw him shitting the bed in a sense as a boyfriend who wasn't up to the task necessarily.
Sure.
Didn't realize the severity of what was going on with his girlfriend, Allison Lohman's situation. And then, next thing a curse is dragging them all to hell. And so, it's weird when you see somebody in a movie and then very close to after the movie's done, you see them in real life because you just feel oh, yeah, I know you.
Totally.
It's oh, you're still here?
Yes, exactly.
Don't you have a home?
Yeah, aren't you supposed to be in Barbarian halfway through unexpectedly,
He's got a quiet, I don't think people put him up there, but as far as Scream Kings and Queens go, he's got a pretty good horror resume.
He did. Well, he's Barbarian, which I think Barbarian is one of the best horror movies ever.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And his appearance in it was such a severe left turn that could have failed or could have made the movie better, and it did the latter.
Yes, I agree.
He was in Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, Jeepers Creepers. He's got okay, move aside, Mia Goth. We've got a new queen in town, okay?
Judging from her movies, you do not want to tell Miss Goth to step aside.
No, you don't.
Those things get pretty hairy pretty quick.
Well, did you hear, because I saw Maxine, which I loved. You haven't seen
You're trying to get me to see it.
I am. You haven't seen any of these Ty West.
No, and it's like actual aversion I have to watching them. I just haven't taken the point. I feel like I need to like watch them all in a day.
They're so fun. They're really, really fun. They're all very different. I love Maxine, just the outfits. It takes place in the 85, which was when I was born. So, like, obviously it's a great year.
Good year. Who won the Super Bowl that year?
Michael J. Fox, because he was in Back to the Future.
And Teen Wolf in the same year.
Yes.
The Chicago Bears.
Okay.
85 Bears. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, it was a great year.
Back to you, Justine.
Thank you so much.
I'm Mark with sports. Back to you.
I love you said it to me like I would know, though.
It's a pretty popular team in like the history of the NFL because it's the only team that the Bears have had that won the Super Bowl.
Right.
And in that era. So, the Bears tend to celebrate it a lot.
Sure. No, I mean, look, if you win something, you should celebrate. I'm still celebrating my wins from Funny Dance Show, which is a show no one cared about or watched.
You want to talk about a show no one cared about or watched? I am still celebrating my gold 6th grade Battle of the Books medal. And it was a particularly big achievement for me because I read, I think, maybe 2 out of the 10 books assigned.
Yeah.
Still got all the trivia questions.
Yeah, you did.
When in doubt, the answer is White Fang.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, say Jack London or White Fang long enough, and you're going to get a few points.
You're going to get some numbers on the board. Look, I'm a little starstruck that we just saw Justin Long. Oh, technically they won in 1986. See that?
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. We always count Super Bowls based on the season that was played, and then the Super Bowl was played in January or February of the next year.
But it was for the previous year.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
All right.
Nobody says 86 Bears.
It's 85
It's our
Bears.
beloved producer trolling me.
It is. You guys know Aaron,
well.
because I refuse to wear the headphones because they don't look good with my outfit. Aaron will be sending us some notes. That's our first correction. I will make many mistakes, I'm sure, throughout this podcast, and Aaron is here to correct me.
No, this is how bad my franchise used to be. Is that when they rebranded to the Washington Commanders, they released this like new line of merch that wasn't all that good, and one of the pieces of merch had like Commanders 3-time Super Bowl champions, and they had the wrong season. They had 88, 92. And 83 instead of the actual seasons that were played, and the fans lost their goddamn mind.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we were very upset. We fixed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I wanted to chat with you about a few things. Comic-Con was this weekend.
You sounded like a mom that just got a phone call from the principal that Mark's grades are not up to par this semester. I wanted to talk to you about a few things. You're eating a lot of junior bacon cheeseburgers these days.
Pre and post sports events.
You got to warm up. You got to cool down.
Exactly. You went to Comic-Con this past week.
I did. Just got back.
I've only been to Comic-Con once. It was for a job. It was for a show, which I think is the only way to go.
Yes, agreed.
Is to be sent there.
To be sent
there by your leader.
Yeah. That's a little different with the verbiage, but yeah. To be ordered to go to Comic-Con.
Yes, I was ordered to go. I wore my Top Gun Maverick jacket. It was the summer of Top Gun.
I believe you hopped on my show.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. So that was the only time I went. We went for a Walking Dead show I was working on. It's crazy in Comic-Con.
It's crazy. It's just a sea of fanatics and people dressed up and
theater
convention
minors
goers,
and Hot Topic adults.
A lot of stage crew. Alumni attending the event. And, I was thinking about it. Like, I've only ever been down there for work technically, too. Like, I've never gone just as a fan. I am a fan of a lot of that stuff. So it's just one hand washing the other. But I've always been lucky enough since 2012 was the first year Schmoes Know went down there. And since then, whether it's with them or Collider or now Rotten Tomatoes, NBC, it's like, I'm so lucky to get to go down there and do this thing that is so fun and just natural to me. So I did a lot of stand-up at night, did stand-up every night, crowds were great, clubs were packed, did a bunch of panels during the day, hosted a lot of TV stuff, some on the street, interviewed some celebrities. It was just like, it was a great time.
Who was your favorite celebrity that you interviewed?
Okay, so there's this movie Borderlands coming out.
Okay.
And it's got Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
Edgar Ramirez, Kevin Hart, directed by Eli Roth, and Florian Mutino is also in it. Of those, and I had all of them on the couch with me.
Whoa.
Who do you think I was most starstruck by?
I mean, how could it not be Jamie Lee?
That would be the correct. That should be the correct answer. It's not, because I don't know if you know who Florian is.
I don't.
So in Borderlands, he's wearing like all this stuff. He's one of the leads, but he's got a mask on the whole time, but he's also shirtless, right?
Sure.
He's just this huge, shredded dude. And I didn't know he was in the movie. I knew very little about the movie when I screened it, and I watched it, and I lean over to my buddy, and I say, I know who that guy is. That is Ivan Drago's son in Creed 2.
Oh.
He's Victor Drago, and I recognized him from his torso. That's
Wow.
how insane of a rewatcher of the Creed franchise
Someone's got
I am.
cum gutters, it sounds like.
We got some cum gutters on this guy.
Yeah.
So I was just so excited to talk to him, and then everybody else is, Kevin Hart's there, Jamie Lee Curtis is nice to see them.
Yeah.
Just wanted to lock eyes with Florian.
I get it.
It was awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Very cool.
That's awesome. And you've been to Comic-Con now how
He's
many
not
times?
returned my phone call.
No, he's not. It's not happening.
No, the texts have gone unread.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Wait, how many years have you gone to Comic-Con now?
Since 2012, every year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot of years.
I think it was every year. I guess there was no Comic-Con in 2020, but all the ones that I went to.
Psychotic fans. Not even a
about
pandemic
Yeah.
can keep these fucking Star Wars nerds from their celebration.
I have cast a spell of immunity around me. I will not get anything. That was almost like a nerd Trump I just did.
It was.
Yeah.
That was nerd Trump. That was Star Wars Trump.
Technically, not me, but others have said that Iron Man issue 357 is the origin of Venom. I don't know what I'm saying.
That was Darth Trump.
Yeah, that's pretty all right. I work on that character.
I love it. That's good.
Come see me, Little Rock.
Rock.
When
He's
Nerd
got his
Trump is finished.
Darth Trump impression. Wait, now when I was chatting with you, there's some huge news in the Glitterverse.
I know.
There's a lot of news, but I teased it a little bit last week. We did a whole R.I.P. Shannon Doherty tribute last week.
Well deserved.
To the point where I'm considering just making this a 90210 themed podcast at this point.
I got that in writing. I got a text from Justine, and it wasn't like we were like chatting before then. I just get a text out of the blue. I'm thinking of changing my podcast to a 90210 theme. Did you ever watch the show? A question that insulted me, frankly.
I'm so glad you watched it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hang in the whole run, but
few people did.
I loved the birth of it. I was there for the birth.
Okay.
I was in the delivery room. We watched it. It was a cool show about, they weren't adults yet, but they were obviously older than me and my sister and my brother. So we're watching it like we're going to be there one day. We're going to be in high school and like doing independent things and like, hey, man, give me your keys. You're too drunk to drive.
Oh, give me your keys. The classic Jason Priestley.
Awesome.
But I forgot. It's because in season 1, he gets a DUI.
He gets a DUI, and I think this was season 1, too. They had one of those very special episodes where somebody's not going to make it out of this alive. And then, like, I remember hearing the radio ad on the way to school that morning before the episode premiered. It was like, one of their own will die. And we're like, which one of the 6?
I feel like it must be season 2 because Mitch has not seen it. We're almost... First of all, Mitch made me watch The Wire, which is 5 seasons, 10 episodes each. I was like, Mitch, in exchange, I now get to watch, you need to watch 90210, which is 10 seasons, like 30 episodes a season.
The Wire is so intense, though. I feel
like...
It's
an even trade.
I feel like that's actually an even trade. And Aaron, in his sports managerial mind, his fantasy football owner mind, I think that's a pretty fair trade.
I think so. Aaron, you approve that trade?
Yeah.
It's good. Okay.
All seasons of The Wire. To get your girlfriend to watch The Wire, I think, is harder than to get your boyfriend to watch 90210.
Well, there's hot people all over 90210.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
like
a lot of hot people in The Wire, too. Like,
I had trailed off 90210 after maybe season 3 or 4, and then Tiffany Amber Thiessen came on board, and I was right back in.
Of course.
Right back in.
Yeah, and she's a bad girl.
I
She's
know.
saying bye to her squeaky clean image.
I loved it. That TV Guide hit the newsstands.
I remember that.
And it was a picture of her with a different haircut, and she
yeah.
There wasn't a lot of Kapowski in this photo shoot.
No, she had a bob, and she was ready to be a bitch.
Yeah, I was into it.
Yeah, I mean, she was like rolling a joint. which my guest last week was like, I think it's she was smoking crack. I'm like, she was not smoking crack. I think she rolls a joint with one hand, which is pretty badass. I smoke a lot of weed, and I am not good at rolling joints.
I don't recall any after-school special or any show like that ever having anything harder in it than weed. I don't know if Melrose Place maybe had some coke.
Probably.
Eventually. Maybe 90210 got some coke by the end.
I feel like later we probably get some coke and some harder drugs. Like, there's some more. I do remember there's an episode where I believe Dylan flushes a bunch of David's pills down the toilet.
Undisclosed pills.
Yes, pills.
Always work.
They never really specified what they are, but they're bad.
Could be Molly, could be multivitamins. We don't know.
We don't know. Could be caffeine pills, the dreaded caffeine pills.
I'm so excited.
Wait, but I got great news. I did tease it a little bit last week. I teased that my friend her family is very close with Ian Ziering. We have confirmed.
No.
We will be having Ian on the podcast, which is such a great, just really great development. I mean, I did tear up a little bit. I love Steve Sanders.
Is this the first member of the 90210 principals that you've had on?
Yes.
Unfortunately, Luke Perry and Shannon Doherty no longer with us.
My two faves, too.
I think Brian Austin Green would be in.
I think he would do it. And Tori follows me on Instagram.
Okay.
So I feel like and she liked the clip I put up last week honoring Shannon.
I was going to say, she may either want to do it the most or want nothing to do with it. I don't know where she would land.
It's definitely somewhere in there.
I feel like Priestley would be a tough get.
I feel like he's a tough get, too. He doesn't even do all the cons.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's rough. If he's not doing the cons, and they get paid a lot of money to
maybe
do the cons.
Tell him the podcast is like a Calendar Girl themed podcast.
Yeah, it's like I think I would get him if I was like, I like to interview my favorite directors.
That's good, yeah.
And you're a top director.
Speak to their artistic side.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know, either of you, oh wait, what was it? He was a huge fan of Bare Naked Ladies and played an integral role in their U.S. success. I believe he also directed their first big single music video.
Really?
Yeah, I've really been in a deep dive on 90210.
This is, I mean, that feels like information that you would hear before the advent of the internet when you could fact check stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if you can fact check that on the internet. Like, I don't even know if Google has the answer to Jason Priestley discovering Bare Naked Ladies.
Isn't that crazy?
It's a wonderful tale.
It's great. I love it. But yeah, I just look.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
It wasn't that one.
Okay.
But it wasn't that video. But
they had a couple hits.
They had a few hits, and he was instrumental in their success.
They had a solid A side.
I think so. B side, we're not going too much into the B side.
I don't know where else they went, but I would put them above Smash Mouth, which had the one huge one,
right?
And then a couple other semi big ones.
Yeah,
they're not Hootie.
They're not Hootie.
Nobody's Hootie.
No one's Hootie.
But they were, as far as '90s bands like that, pretty solid.
Yeah, I think so too. So thank you, Jason Priestley, for your work in that area.
Yeah, and I loved you in Tombstone.
You're the second person to bring up Tombstone, which Mitch has been trying to get me to watch, and I'm like, Mitch, you buried the lead. You forgot to mention Jason Priestley is in it.
He should have bartered to get Tombstone in this deal that he worked out.
Yeah, he should have.
I think that maybe Mitch isn't the GM I thought he was, because he should have been able to squeeze a movie to be named later in there too. And then, you get something for both you in Tombstone.
Exactly.
And you like Val Kilmer.
I love Val, but Mitch is like, Val, I just learned that Jason is in Tombstone literally last week.
Yeah. Yeah. And you like Kurt. I mean, who doesn't like Kurt Russell?
I'm an American. I love Kurt Russell.
He's a man's man.
He is a man's man. So yeah, I'm all in. I'm loving it. Again, seriously considering making this a 90210 rewatch pod. Haven't completely committed to it yet.
Then I can come back, because I don't remember necessarily the pilot of the show or what happens.
It's so good. It's amazing. Again, we're 2 episodes away from finishing season 1, and we're about to get into the love triangle of Kelly, Brenda, and Dylan.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm ready for my heart to break all over again.
It's great. I mean, the Walsh is moving from Minnesota, which, I mean, you talk about a job upgrade for Mr. Walsh,
I know.
who just passed away.
What?
James B. Sicking?
No, James Eckhart.
James Eckhart. No, James Sicking is in it too somewhere, isn't he? Did he just die? I think the patriarch of the Walsh family.
Joey Tata is dead, who played Nat.
Do you think I don't know about Joey Tata? This is a true story. My second celebrity sighting in L.A. First one was Mark McGrath at Rite Aid, like the night I got there.
Oh, my God.
The Rite Aid on Fairfax and Sunset.
Wow.
And then the bar used to be Red Rock. Now it's State Social House.
Oh, yeah.
We used to go drinking there a lot of nights because and I saw Nat there. Saw Joey Tata. Hanging to the bar. Nice guy.
Oh, my God. I love Joey Tata. No, I don't think James Eckhouse died, unless he died in the last week and a half, because...
I think it was the last week and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this for real? Am I getting this breaking news?
Yeah.
Because I checked to make sure James Sicking was the dad on Doogie Howser. Okay. Thank God.
They both had very, very similar 90s dad energy.
No, they did. And that 90s dad of like, oh, honey, you better not, like, just that, like, good dad.
Yeah,
you know?
they were dads like they didn't just come home and read the paper like your Leave It to Beaver dad, you know? Like they had a compassionate side. They still were like, dad.
Tough, yeah.
But they had like a compassionate side.
Yeah, they had high expectations, but were relatable, and they were flawed too. That's the thing I love, is that all the characters are flawed. Like watching it now, because when I watched, especially early on, I watched as a kid. I wasn't a teenager yet. So now watching like 20 years after having been a teenager, I'm like, I shoplifted. I struggled with when to lose my virginity in that basement to Nickelback.
Yeah, it was boy, was that a battle.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was no Dylan and Brenda at the dance, but, it was special in its own way.
I just remember watching the show and being like, I can't wait for these moments to happen to me, regardless of whether it ends up being a good or bad night. Like, I just wanted the drama.
Sure.
Because that meant you were like doing something. You had a friend group.
Yes.
There was pressure. There were expectations. I wanted all that stuff.
Yes. Yeah, it was really cool. Wait, who is your favorite character? You're such a Brandon to me.
Yeah, I was pretty big into Brandon.
I loved Brandon. Was my guy.
I liked Steve. I couldn't always take him seriously after the steroid incident. Really bothered me at the time. Dylan was so cool. It was almost like I couldn't even relate to him.
Right, but Dylan's kind of a fuckboy also, as I'm watching now.
1,000%.
Like, I back in the day, I was like, oh, he's so deep and mysterious. But now I'm like, oh, no, he, like, stands Brenda up. He, like, has all these side bitches that he's still chatting with. He's checking out girls blatantly in front of Brenda in the hallway at school. Like... And we know what happens with him and Kelly, so...
Those who can will.
Exactly.
And he had carte blanche. He was the James Dean of the early 90s.
He was.
Both in and out of the show.
It's so funny.
And he could just post up at a locker and be like, he did not have a care in the world, and he shouldn't have had.
No.
Because he had a rough home life.
He did.
He liked going to school and hanging out with the crew afterwards just because it meant he didn't have to be home.
Yep.
And, yeah, he dabbled with a few different dalliances.
Yes, he did. And you know what? I think also, like... his character is sober. He takes Brandon, I think, to an AA meeting, maybe?
And this is all in high school.
Yeah.
So, like, he already had such a drinking problem that by the time he was, like, a sophomore in high school, he's, like, quoting AA.
That's
and it's
like me almost, though, because by my senior year,
Similar
I had stopped drinking because I had partied so much.
That's crazy.
But then I did dabble a little bit more in my 20s, but I wasn't going to AA or anything. But there is a moment where I believe he brings Brandon to AA. He brings someone to AA. I'm almost positive it's Brandon.
I don't think Steve would have gone.
No, Steve would not. Steve
I don't think he cared enough about Brian Austin Green's character.
No.
David. I don't think he cared enough about David Silver to take him to AA.
No.
But Brandon, if Brandon had a bad night drinking, we got to get him to a meeting the next day.
Exactly. Well, Brandon, I think we're learning, has a little bit of a past drinking and then has sworn it off. And then Steve spikes his drink, fucking that rascal Steve.
What, in Minnesota? Did he have a problem drinking?
I think maybe he, like, did it. And Brandon, out the gate in Beverly Hills, is against drinking.
He seems like the guy. He is actually going to walk you ladies home, or you can trust him with your drink when you go to the bathroom, and he's like not going to do it. He's a effing angel as far as I'm concerned.
And he was always the one I liked. I've never been into bad boys. All my friends liked the more Dylan types that were like cheated on them and treated them like shit. I was always like, Brandon is the one.
He's a dude. He's a good dude.
He's a good dude.
The way that him and Brenda interacted with each other, I think helped my sister and I learn how to like be civil.
Oh, good.
Because, like, you know, we always have, like, a sibling rivalry. But you'd see them have the same thing on screen.
Yeah.
But then when it really came push to shove, like, they had to, like, have a conversation.
Right.
Or, like, they had to, like, go do something together.
Right.
They would, like, suck it up and find common ground. I think my sister and I were like, all right, fine, we can do this.
Oh, my God. My favorite is we just got through the part where Brandon like books a TV show accidentally.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And then they're like, does he need idiot cards?
Yeah, exactly. And then Shannon Doherty, Brenda, who is she fancies herself an actress. Mm-hmm. She has to fill in for Brandon at the Peach Pit.
Yeah.
And she's terrible waitress. And then she plays this, she realizes, oh, I should have more fun with it. And she plays this like 50s East Coast character named Lavoine. And the accent is so funny. And then there's one episode where Brenda, I think, tries stand-up comedy a little bit, like, and moves out. Like, it's just really, I think I'm a Brenda for sure.
You weren't really a show in the 90s with any sort of run or legs unless you had one of the characters try stand-up at a comedy club at some point. You either had to try stand-up or you had to be in a band.
Yes,
you know, you had
%.
to try the musical group thing.
Yes, exactly. And look, as the friend in Denver who was that person, I get it. I'm happy to see myself represented on screen in that way.
All right, let's play a game. Let's play the 90210 adjacent game, which is we're going to take turns naming shows on Fox.
Okay.
That were, or they didn't necessarily have to be on Fox, but they were clearly influenced by 90210 and never would have been made without 90210 blazing the trail.
Get ready. You're about to fucking choke.
Let's do this.
Okay, so obviously Melrose Place, direct spinoff.
That's a great answer.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a show called The Heights.
Okay.
Remember that?
What was The Heights on?
They were all a band.
Oh.
And they had, like, the lead was this, like, singer dude who he had a Luke Perry-ism.
Okay.
And they had a hit song called How Do You Talk to an Angel?
Oh. How do you talk to an angel?
Rockin' sax. Yeah.
Whoa. Wait, that was part of a show? That wasn't a real song?
Lasted for a couple seasons, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with Pacific Palisades, which was a one-season Fox Jamie Walters. Who's Jamie Walters? Was Jamie Walters in The Heights?
He was the guy from The Heights.
Oh, love it. So Pacific Palisades was a spin-off. It existed within the same universe as 90210 and Melrose Place. It was like loosely connected to Heather Locklear's character in Melrose Place.
Okay.
But it was about a modeling agency in the Palisades.
And it's not to be confused with my answer.
Wait, Models Inc.?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, was it? Wait.
Well, I was going to say Models Inc.
Wait, was Models Inc. Pacific Palisades? Were these separate shows?
I know Models Inc. was a show.
Models Inc. was a show.
Pacific Palisades sounded right.
Wait, what was Pacific Palisades?
Are you thinking of Pacific Blue?
No.
Blue? Starring
Pacific
Rick Rosovic from Top Gun
Palisades
and Mario Lopez?
Show.
Was he in Pacific Blue?
Oh, yeah, Pacific Palisades. No, I'm right.
Hey, well, we're both right.
I love it. But
that.
I was going to say Models Inc. next. Oh, yeah, it's produced by Aaron Spelling. And it was canceled after 13 episodes.
That checks out.
Despite a last-minute attempt to increase ratings by casting Joan Collins as Laura's mother. Wow, they pulled out all the stops.
Yeah, they really knew how to get to the teenagers of the 90s.
Wait, so what was Models Inc. then?
Models Inc. It might have been in the same universe. I don't know.
I feel like they were similar.
Like, did Andrew Shue from Melrose Place like work at this modeling agency? But it was Models Inc. did not last long. I think it had a season. And Jamie Walters played a character that abused Donna Martin.
Wait, so was it in the same universe?
I think that they separated the universe. You can't have the guy who abused Donna Martin and then get his own spinoff show as the same character.
Oh, was he Ray? Did he play Ray? Ray! Oh my God, Ray.
No memory of Ray.
That's Ray. Jamie Walters played Ray on 90210.
No memory of that.
Really? Oh, no. That's because you were out by then.
Yeah.
She had cut her hair.
How do you abuse an angel? Should have been the name of the song.
Should have been the name.
Remember Party of no, not Party of Five. Class of '96.
No, what was that?
That was a show that was advertised during, I believe, the first or second season of 90210, and you were going to follow a group of freshmen go through college. So it was going to be like a 4-season arc.
Oh my God.
And because the show debuted in '92, so they were going to be the class of '96.
Wow.
And they're just all figuring it out. They're just figuring out that we're on our own for the first time. There's going to be drinking at parties. There's going to be maybe some sex.
Ooh.
And got canceled.
They all get canceled. His character was so hated, it killed The Heights. Whoa.
The Heights was that song was everywhere, man.
I remember that song. I don't remember that show. Here's the thing about Pacific Palisades. Oh man. The spirit of Jamie Walters is possessing me.
Yeah, really.
He's like, don't you badmouth me. Okay, so Pacific Palisades, here's the summary. Set in the Los Angeles district of the same name, the series follows the lives of young professionals who have it all but haven't paid for it yet.
Joan Collins going to come in there, spit some wisdom.
You
okay?
Yeah,
I'm convinced you've never had a Coke before. I've never seen you drink a Coca-Cola Classic.
I've had Coke before.
I don't think you have.
I love a Coke.
I don't know.
I had a cherry Coke at AMC Saturday and Sunday.
You've never had a Coke in liquid form before.
Yeah, I've never had that kind of Coke before. Regular drug bad Coke.
Never?
No, have you?
No.
Me neither.
No.
I'm wearing a choker, so I get why it looks like I've done Coke before.
Yeah, there may be a reason why you're coughing, and it may have something to do with the fact that your neck looks compressed by your fashion decision. I hate having stuff around my neck. Turtlenecks, get them out of here.
Really?
I would love to look cool in a turtleneck at a Christmas party. I think Mark Ellis could be like a turtleneck sweater kind of guy at the Christmas party, but I hate having stuff around my neck.
I feel like, hold on.
There we go.
Something went down the wrong tube. Do you hear that?
Yeah, and it happens more and more as I'll chew a piece of gum and that first burst of flavor you get, and it just gets lodged in my throat. And I found out I have a peanut allergy.
You do?
Yeah, a sensitivity.
How did you find out?
My throat will lock up. Because I was putting them in my protein shake every morning.
And you're like, wow, I can't breathe.
I was coughing, choking down my protein shake. And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. And then one of my friends is like, well, have you ever thought you might have a peanut allergy? And I'm like, eh. And so then I was working on some peanut M&Ms one night, and my throat kind of locked up again. Again, it's not like I can't breathe, but it just gets verklempt.
And you've made it this far in life before?
Before even noticing, yeah. I think I'm just soft now, you know?
You're soft now.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even drink a Coke.
Yeah, we haven't had a Frosty in a combined 40 years, you know? Just put us in the home. We're done.
Put us in the home.
Time to clock out. But make sure that home has access to Freevee or wherever you can watch 90210.
I know. I think you can also watch it on maybe Peacock or something now, too.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I'm loving it. I cannot wait to we're doing 3-4 episodes a night.
Okay, so I'm trying to think that, if you and I were in this situation, what after 90210 and I can't pick The Wire, what is the show that you would make me binge with you? Because I got the one I'm going to make you binge with me.
Oh, really? Did you watch Melrose Place?
I would catch it here and there, but it was always the dream. Looking at that scenario that's exactly what I wanted out of life when I was in high school. But I never followed the show as intently as I did 90210. So I could do Melrose Place.
I would say Melrose Place, or did you ever watch My So-Called Life?
No. My sister did.
That's actually a good show.
So it was on in our house.
Claire Danes is phenomenal in it. I can't believe it only got one season.
One season? Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, then here's what I'll do. I'll let you make me binge Melrose Place and throw in the kicker of My So-Called Life, because my show has run for some time.
Oh, no.
Monday Night Football. We're watching every football game going back to 1970. No, I would say The X-Files.
Oh, Mitch would get behind you on that.
Yeah,
Mitch loves X-Files.
Yeah. Have you seen it? I mean, did you watch it growing up?
No, but he did compare Brandon and Andrea to Scully and Mulder.
Little bit.
They work together. There's some sexual chemistry.
Yeah, but you're not it's not overtaking the show.
No, it's not. It's it's the least interesting, but there is something there.
Yeah, how do you do that? Because it's even with The Bear, everybody wants the two chefs to get together. And everybody is shipping every couple now, probably because we were living in a Ross Rachel world when the X-Files debuted.
Oh.
But then it ran all through the same, decade as Friends, and there was always a will they won't they with Mulder and Scully, but it never overpowered the rest of the show.
Right. And I think that's the thing with Andrea and Brandon, which I do kind of like, because sometimes a guy and a girl can just be friends and nothing can happen. You can put on The Notebook one night and everything, all the ingredients are there and nothing happens.
And it ends and you just shake hands and say, well, that was a fine film. And you march on home.
Exactly. But I think that's what I'm saying is like, look, the writing is a little heavy-handed at times, but I do think the characters in 90210 are like complex, and they do tackle huge issues. Like, people are talking, Mitch was talking last night, he's like, everyone talks about everything being so woke now. Brandon is like the original woke guy. He's out here like just a social justice warrior, you know?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's why I always liked Brandon. He always stood up. He always did, even when it wasn't the popular thing.
Yes.
But he was such a cool, level-headed guy, he could get away with it and not, like, take the social hit,
yes,
you know?
Exactly.
But the big question I think I had, because we're talking about couples and who should be together, who doesn't overpower the show, take the top 6 from 90210.
Okay.
And then pair them up based on who you want to see end up together permanently. Now, this is with the caveat that you got 4 ladies to choose from.
Yeah.
But you only got 3 dudes.
Wait.
Because you have Brandon. No. Then you have also Brian Austin Green,
so
right?
I have 4 and 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so match them up.
Obviously, Donna and David, like,
yes.
forever.
Yes. Those are the first ones to leave.
This is so easy for me. Okay, Donna and David, Brenda and Dylan, Kelly and Brandon, and Andrea and Steve.
I'm going a little off book here.
No, you are not putting. Are you going to put Kelly with Dylan?
I was going to put Kelly with Andrea. I think that's the play. And I think Steve and Brandon have a thing. And then our other 2 couples are Donna and David and Dylan and Brendan. They walk off into the sunset.
As long as Donna, although I love Kelly and Brandon. They have this really nice, like, sexual kind of flirty chemistry.
Eventually, I think they'll work fine for a couple of years, and then eventually she's going to do something one night. Because Brandon, let's face it, I love the guy, vanilla in the bedroom.
He's very vanilla. Oh, yeah.
That guy cannot bring a woman to orgasm to save his entire family. He can't do it. He'll lay there and talk about your feelings.
Yeah.
He can't wait for you to come home so that you can tell him all about his day, and he's going to ask the right questions.
Yeah, he's there emotionally, but like if
he's going to drive Kelly into the arms of Nat. Because Nat can still take care of things in the bedroom.
Take care of business.
Nat can still yank with the best of them.
And then get out to the peach pit to serve some people pie. Like, Nat I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, but I really, I'm starting to think that this Andrea Kelly thing could happen.
Can you imagine?
And Brandon and Steve, it probably did happen on the show at some point.
Yeah. Look, you know what also though, Brandon and Dylan, I was talking about this last week, the way they meet. Brandon just, like, Dylan stands up for Scott, who we all know what happened to Scott.
Don't let your guns be loose in the house.
You know what's funny is it's so obvious that, like, they wanted to make him a main character. Because in the beginning, his title card is before Donna's.
He's around, yeah.
It was clear that they wanted he and David to be this, like, little couple of friends, and then we've got all these other people. And it was just it's very obvious that for whatever reason that character didn't connect, because now he's just coming in to be like, Brandon, your limo's here, when he's like on his TV show, and that's the one line he gets in the show.
Then by the time the very special episode aired, you're like, I know who's gonna get it.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
David has the line yelling at all of his friends, no one gave a rat's ass about Scott until he died. And it's like, well, yeah, David, that's the point of us killing him off.
Yeah, exactly.
And not you. So maybe count your own blessings here.
They could have just, like, literally, they didn't have to do that, though. He could have just disappeared, you know?
No, make it an event.
Okay, you're right,
Do you have any idea the ratings that show got?
You're right.
We all tuned in because all we knew is that somebody's going to die. That was the only thing we knew. You know, this was who shot JR. This was who shot Mr. Burns.
It's true.
It was on that level.
Wait, it is funny though. So far, every episode, we are almost 22 episodes into season 1, and literally every episode, Brandon just has a new brunette who he's fucking chasing. We're calling it Brandon's brunettes. Like,
I think he got himself friend zoned by a lot of those brunettes. What I would.
I think so, and I think he just gets really eager, and then they're like, Brandon, I have to go back to my school now, or Brandon, well, this one girl was like, I was in witness protection this whole time, and I have to go back to. And the other girl's like, Brandon, I'm a TV star. I'm going back to my TV star boyfriend. Like, poor fucking Brandon.
They never had an episode where it just would make actual LA sense, where it's like, Brandon, we can't be together. I live on the other side of the 405.
I know, exactly. Well, no, this girl.
I live in the valley.
She lives in Pomona, and he's like, how far is that?
Get out of my bed. Pomona. Come on.
But Mitch is convinced. Mitch goes, you know what it is? Because Brandon's girlfriend from Minnesota, she was more of like a dark blonde. Mm-hmm. So he came here, and I think Mitch goes, I think Brenda got this hot Beverly Hills makeover, and now Brandon is trying to, maybe he's a little attracted to Brenda.
Have you ever driven by the house?
No, it's in Pasadena or something. Right?
I know. I think it's in Beverly Hills.
Oh, no, I think it's in Altadena. The Walsh house?
Yeah.
Is it in Beverly Hills?
Well, I mean, the exterior looks like it was shot on one of the Beverly Hills streets.
I looked it up recently. It's in Altadena.
We got to go.
We got to go.
Frosty's on the way to Altadena.
Oh, my God. Yes, there's got to be a Wendy's on the way.
Well, okay, look. I mean, I would love to go out to Altadena because not only is
no one ever.
The 90210 house is out there.
Yeah.
But it's right around the corner from that would be Pee-wee's house in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, we got to go.
The Pee-wee house is out there, too.
All the great landmarks.
I'm trading you shows.
Okay, great.
And I'm trading you locations.
Okay.
We go to 90210 house, we go to the Pee-wee house.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm getting my content, my picks either way.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, okay, so here's a real fun piece of 90210. Deep trivia.
Give it to me.
This is why you have me on. So the theme song 90210, we all know it.
It's my ringtone on my phone.
First of all, it sounds a lot like the end of the Derek and the Dominoes song Layla.
Okay.
Sounds a lot like the end of Layla.
Okay.
But that wasn't going to be the theme song of 90210. Do you know what was?
What?
They tried to license from none other than former Van Halen frontman David Lee Roth.
What?
His song, Just Like Paradise. This must be just like living in paradise.
Really?
They tried to license that song from Diamond Dave to use in this new show that they were going to put on Fox, and they did not pony up enough dough for Diamond Dave's liking. Didn't get it.
Whoa.
So they had to do an original instead, and there you go.
Well, it's funny because the original evolves even from season 1 to season 2. We're in the era of there's the da-na-na-na-na-na, but they don't have the iconic opening da-na-na-na.
Right.
That comes, I think, season 2.
The original theme song for 90210 sounds more like Layla than what it became in season 2. Maybe there was a season to 6, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, but now, like, I can't imagine any other song associated with that opening now.
It's so good. I sound insane because the past couple weeks I've just been telling everyone how much I love 90210. I was talking to Avery Pearson in the back of the Comedy Jam and the band back there after the 10-year anniversary last week.
Avery's awesome.
I love Avery.
Hi, Avery.
He's been on this pod many times, but
just a warm, sweet fellow.
The best. But I'm like, oh, I did a 90210 episode, and I'm so excited. And then my phone rings, and it just goes da-na-na-na, and I just sound like a fucking psychopath. But I want to say, shout out. One of the listeners actually fucking DM me within the day that episode came out a tattoo that she has of Luke Perry's face with the 90210 logo. It's very 90s looking. And I was like, you guys are my people. You get it.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive.
I think we got some. Okay, so would you turn this podcast into the 90210? Or, I mean, look, I know you're a busy woman about town. You got a lot. You're machining your way from coast to coast.
I am.
Can we get just a satellite pod going? That's not Glitter and Garbage, but it's Glitter and Garbage presents 90210.
That's kind of what I was thinking. And then it could be Glitter and Garbage presents whatever
The Heights
or Garbage. The Heights. Models Inc. Like
Class of 96. It's only one season you got to watch.
Oh my God.
And then you have like the Party of Fives and like the Seventh Heavens of the World.
Well,
they all felt like they were inspired by 90210.
They did. I mean, 90210 was undeniably the original teen drama. We would not have Gossip Girl. We would not have the OC. All of those shows. Even Riverdale. You know, this kind of YA television that was targeted towards, you know, supposedly teenagers, but 8-year-olds like myself.
Young adult fare.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, if you look at 90210 and then you look at all the other shows out there, like you can draw like a comparison to even like Twilight and stuff like that. Just because it's teenagers who we always just had in this kiddie box in the 70s and 80s and before then.
Yeah.
And then they were doing like adult related things. Here's how powerful 90210 was. It was so powerful, and that theme song was so good, it actually made Saved by the Bell have to pivot when they went from high school to college.
Yeah.
Because the Saved by the Bell, the college years theme song, was trying to be the 90210 theme song really, really bad. I can still sing some of it.
You can. Yeah. Do you want to sing any of it?
Standing at the edge of tomorrow, and it's all up to me how far I go.
Yes. Okay.
Standing at the edge of tomorrow, today.
So good.
Yeah.
And fucking Tiffany Amber Thiessen was in it. A little. She was in the college years.
What?
A little bit. She was for sure in the college years.
Lisa
fucking
Turtle was.
Erin is nodding. I remember because she had short hair and she had shorter hair.
I don't think she was a regular, though.
She was definitely in it.
Screech and Slater and Zach all were on board, as was former NFL star Bob Golick.
Oh, I totally forgot. More breaking news. Huge celebrity sighting.
Don't tell me Mark Paul Gosselaar is going to be on the show.
No, but this person's towards the end leading up to the wedding she was on. Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
you had to get your reps before.
She tried to go away and be on 90210,
I
think, and then was like, I'll give the fans what they want,
right,
and I'll come back. Which a lot of them do, you know?
Yeah, I think Lisa was there. I don't think Elizabeth Berkley wasn't.
Okay, so speaking of Elizabeth, guess who I saw at my show? Front row, not Elizabeth, but Kyle MacLachlan.
Really?
Was front row from fucking Twin Peaks,
yeah,
Dune, Showgirls, Sex and the City, Desperate Housewives. He was front row at the Laugh Factory. And someone did point him out, another comic. So then I took it upon myself to make everyone in the crowd say it's a Versace with him in unison. But he was the nicest fucking guy.
Oh, that's great.
I was talking about it with Mitch. What a body of work that just spans so many different generations and demographics.
Very, very diverse body of work, but he's also got that, he's at that perfect level of fame where you know his face.
Yeah.
The fans love him.
Yes.
And will make him feel like he's famous forever.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't get like overwhelmed.
No.
With like, paparazzi and stuff like that.
No. Like he was like front row and I was like, oh, that guy kind of looks like Kyle MacLachlan. And then Alex Edelman went up and was like, oh my God, you're Kyle MacLachlan. And then it was off to the races. And then, afterward, he was very nice. He was like, it's my first time here. You were so great. I was hosting. He was like, you're a great host. And I was like, can I get a picture? And he goes, let me get on stage with you. And he got
That's awesome.
He was so warm and nice. And I was like, this restores my faith in humanity.
All right, I don't think my story is going to outdo yours, but recently I had a TV star from the early 90s.
Okay.
In the front row, one of my shows.
Okay.
And it was a delight to get to talk to this person. Now, I never let on stage, or even when I got to chat with them on the back porch of the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
I never let on that I even knew who they were. It was just like, this is just like we just met, just hanging out, vibing.
Yeah.
Buddy of Jason Collins.
Okay.
It looked like.
Okay.
Or they were at least chatting that night. So that maybe would be your hint. But who do you think it was?
Ooh, 90s TV star.
You trade me Kyle MacLachlan?
Ooh. Balky from Perfect Stranger.
Bronson Pinchot would have been a great get. I would put this on that level, though. And, Family Matters was one of those shows that there's so many great performers in there. It wasn't just the Urkel show.
Was it Carl?
It was Eddie.
Oh, my God.
Darius McCrary.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Such a great laugh.
Oh, I love that.
Such a warm, gentle soul to talk to.
I love it.
And an infectious laugh that just filled up the room.
I love that.
Have him in your front row, comedians. You're going to feel funnier.
Yes, everyone. That's how you get a good show.
That's how you get a good program.
Kyle MacLachlan and Eddie from Family Matters. And you're in good hands. Okay, great. So there's one more thing I did want to chat about before we wrap up.
Okay, again, now you go back into that tone where we need to talk about your math grade.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten to your math grades.
Yeah, okay. My poor marks.
Your poor marks. You know what? As you're saying that, I am having flashbacks to my mom picking me up from lacrosse practice and taking me to, I think we went to like Red Robin. She was like, I have to talk to you. And we went to Red Robin and I was like, oh no.
At least you didn't ruin your experience of Friendly with the serious talk.
Yes,
Because Friendly
that's
is
true.
strictly to celebrate
It's true.
high school performances.
It's so true.
Red
No,
Robin is where you go to have a real heart-to-heart.
a real heart-to-heart over the
Yeah.
unlimited steak fries. Okay, so
I'm mentally at Red Robin.
mentally, you're at Red Robin. I saw Twisters this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were very excited about it.
I was. And look, it is fun. I wish I had seen it in 4DX. Deadpool is now in 4DX, so I missed that opportunity. And it is fun, but there are some very silly parts in it.
Okay.
And I have to say, I'm so devastated that Helen Hunt does not make even a cameo.
Nary a cameo or anything from the original other than the technology of Dorothy.
Yes.
Which was like the satellite they were trying to get in the eye of the tornado.
Correct.
And so that's cool.
That is cool.
You're
And-
upset by no Helen Hunt.
Well, they did. Here's the thing. Helen Hunt famously back in like, I think 2020, talked about how she was trying to get a Twister sequel made where she would be directing. It didn't happen. I think Bill Paxton was quoted as saying that they wanted to do a sequel. It didn't happen. I think they actually kind of followed what Bill Paxton had lightly pitched. Bill Paxton's son has a cameo in the sequel, but no Helen Hunt, and they didn't even ask her, which is crazy to me.
Oh, now you got to make another one.
I think they have to make another one.
This one is crushing at the box office.
Yeah, no, and look, it's fun, but there are also parts where, like, this isn't a huge spoiler, but, when one of the things they're like, oh, we have to save all the people. Like, we have to go back and save them. There's a big one on the way to the town. And then they run in and they're like, guys, go inside. And it's like, they live in Oklahoma. They know what to do with the tornado. So they're like, get to a basement. It's like, do you think these people are brain dead?
They're looking
like,
right in the camera when they're saying.
Exactly. They're like, leave your farmer's market stand. Get to the basement. It's like, you guys.
Leave the feed and supply you just bought down at the general store in this small podunk town in the truck.
Yeah, they're like, these people won't know what to do in the event of a tornado in Oklahoma if we don't tell them.
They know what to do.
They know what to do. That being said, I did still tear up at the ending.
Well, I was bummed because in the original Twister, they did record a few Van Halen songs and put them in the movie. They had Humans Being and then Respect the Wind, which was an instrumental. And it's part of the great soundtrack of that movie, and those songs are not used in Twisters. And so I refuse to dance with it.
Really?
I do love Glenn Powell, so I'll see it.
No, I mean, I love Glenn Powell, but also, like...
That guy's a movie star.
He is a star. And can we talk about that? I wanted to talk about blockbusters. We spent a lot of time talking about 90210. Sorry, guys. This is slowly becoming
it's a
a
90210
podcast.
I don't know that the fans of Glitter and Garbage are ever going to appreciate in full what I just did for them. By giving you the concept of making a spin-off pod so that this pod wouldn't get infected with 90210. Me saying, hey, maybe you could do like your own podcast. It's 90210. And all Glitter Garbage fans like, yes, please do it like that.
Please, not just every episode. I just know that there is at least one fan with a Luke Perry tattoo that gave me the confidence to
there's many. I think there's many, and I think that the Glitter and Garbage faithful, the Glitterati, would follow you into hell.
I think so.
Talking about whatever you want to talk about, so you keep living your truth.
I think so. I mean, literally, one of our fans who's been a fan since fucking Three's Too Much days. My guy
OGs.
Dennis, he came to my Laugh Factory show, the same one that Kyle was at. No, it was the one before. He came the week before. But he brought me Ghostface underwear. They are men's, but I love them.
It's the thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts, and I love them. So big shout out to my guy Dennis.
And maybe they're comfy. Like maybe women like wearing oversized dudes underwear in the same way that they love wearing like the boyfriend sweatshirt.
Totally. And also he was like, give these to Mitch, which is so nice that he's looking out for Mitch as well.
He just wants them in the house somewhere.
He wants that. He's like, I know Justine will, this Ghostface underwear will live its fullest life if it's in the Merino
It
household.
can be a doggy bandana for Blair.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter who gets it.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah, Twisters, it's fun, but...
How many schmoes out of 5?
I'd say 3.
Okay, that's fresh, but that's as low as fresh can go.
I'd say low fresh because it's fun and I love movies like that and I want us to have more blockbusters like that. I mean, it was no Top Gun Maverick, obviously.
Nothing will be ever.
But I want to have more like Glenn Powell because I think he's a star.
Yeah.
And I've been a fan of his since he was in fucking Scream Queens, which was like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. I like The Hitman.
Oh, I didn't see that
Fun.
yet. It's fun?
Really fun.
Okay, cool.
3.75
You'd give
out
it
of 5
Hitman?
schmoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good time. As long as Twisters sounds big and looks awesome on the big screen, then I'll be happy.
It does. And again, I really wish that it's only been out for a week and it's already not in 4DX anymore except in San Diego.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's funny how much of a premium we put on like the 4DX experience and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because the original Twister, when it came out, it was probably one of the first DVDs to hit. Maybe not right away, but the movie Twister sold a lot of surround sound systems
Right.
from Circuit
I'm sure.
City
Yeah.
in the late 90s.
And it sounds amazing. Again, I saw it in AMC. It was a Prime theater, so like the seats were comfy, but it wasn't Dolby. Dolby's my favorite, the Dolby experience.
That's a pretty badass way to see a movie.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's great. But it was good. It was still good and it was fun. So I'd say 3. It's worth seeing. But there are also just like some laugh out loud moments where you're like, okay, all right, this is happening.
There's a couple quick laugh out loud moments in Longlegs, but then
Okay, yes, that was the last thing.
immediately, then it shuts you up. Then the movie shuts you up.
Yeah.
You're like, well, we're right back to Creepyville.
Yes. Okay, so quickly before we wrap up, let's talk about Longlegs.
Have we seen it?
I saw it.
Okay. I did not think it was the scariest movie ever made. So
Me
you can
neither.
put all those things to bed.
Me neither.
It didn't stick with me. Didn't stick to my bones in the sense of I need to sleep with the lights on.
Yeah.
Which movies can do.
Yeah.
To me. And
Babadook did that to me.
Babadook got close. Drag Me to Hell when I saw it in 2009 did. That scared the hell out of me, and I rewatched it last night because I knew I was going to see Justin today. I didn't even it was like, why did I give this movie any part of my mental headspace?
Well, Babadook, to me, we watched it. We were house sitting my aunt's big house, which can be creepy.
Cool.
Betsy's, and it was like winter, and we watched it at night, and it was kind of like creepy. And also, the creepiest thing to me is like, if you don't know any of the actors, if it's like, and Babadook, it's like all these unknown, I mean, I'm sure they're known, but just people that I wasn't familiar with, Australian actors.
It feels like Paranormal Activity. It feels more real.
Yes,
when you're watching people that you don't know to be famous,
Yes.
and so you're like, oh, I'm watching a real thing.
Exactly. It makes it, because if you see, I'm watching Barbarian, Justin Long shows up, like I know it's Justin Long. I can think of some of his other work to distract me, that I know he's okay. But this is like, maybe this really happened.
Yeah.
Longlegs, I agree. The first scene, I will say, of Longlegs, that shot of Longlegs where his there's a very creepy shot at the beginning that I thought was very effective. And I was like, oh shit, this is going to be crazy. And then I just think I was a little let down. It just felt like a Blumhouse, any other Blumhouse movie that we see these days. But
I think the movie achieved what it wanted to do, and because I don't think it was trying to like be the scariest movie ever made. I think that's the marketing team. I think that it was just trying to make this really atmospheric, kind of intense psychological horror thriller. I thought the performances were great.
Yeah.
And even though it didn't stick to me as far as like I'm scared, it made me want to talk about it with people who have seen it afterwards.
Totally.
And that's very rare because usually I see a movie and I usually go into the movies by myself because I just want to leave and just like think about what I saw. I don't want to talk to people afterwards. This one I kind of even wanted to just meet strangers walking out of the theater and be like, hey, can I be in your group? Can we talk about this?
Can we chat about this? Yeah. Yeah, look, I would say I definitely would give it like a 3.5.
I'll go 4. I'll go 4 out of 5.
Okay, yeah. I thought Micah Monroe was really good in it, and she's another little scream queen.
Yeah, I mean, I had no clue that she was in It Follows watching the movie, and then afterwards I was like, oh, right, she's in It Follows.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's another great one.
I mostly know her as she dated Joe Keery from Stranger Things for quite a while, and now she's dating Ariana Grande's ex-husband, Dalton Gomez. And that's why you guys listen to me, because I make those connections.
Why we trust you with our hot goss.
Exactly. Well, this was so fun. Wait, what? I did want to And since I saw Twisters, which Twister was a big blockbuster of the 90s, what do you think are what are your top 3 blockbusters of all time?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty tough.
Star Wars is number 1.
Okay.
Because it just changed. I would go Jaws, Star Wars, and then it's tossed up between E.T. And Jurassic Park. Even though there's movies that made more money, Titanic made more money, Avatar, the Avengers movies made more money, but I just feel like those movies, Batman would be way up there too.
Yeah.
Batman 1989 would be way up there. So, but I think E.T., like they were all just like such phenomenal things that Jaws completely changed the way movie makers look at the summer.
Yeah.
And Star Wars ran because Jaws walked.
Yeah.
Or swam.
Yeah. I gotta go Titanic, number 1, obviously. Not just because of my.
It's like literally the correct answer.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
Like just watching it now as an adult who knows so much more about filmmaking, it's so impressive. The recreation of the detail that went into that, and that's why James Cameron is the fucking man, because this is why his movies take so long, because he's
you could
a
go with James Cameron by himself.
Yeah.
With the 3 biggest summer blockbusters of all time.
Yeah.
Because you can do Titanic.
Yeah.
And then you can do Avatar, even though that was a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Still, if you're just talking about blockbusters.
Yeah.
They don't know a season when it's James Cameron.
Oh, no, they
then
don't. Titanic was December as well.
You could do Terminator 2, you could do True Lies, you could do anything else.
I love True Lies.
And they're all great blockbusters.
I might go, even though it's not like the biggest. Okay, so I'm going to go Titanic, Jurassic Park, and I'm going to go True Lies just because I love True Lies. Tom Arnold is so fucking funny in it.
It does everything that you want a summer blockbuster movie to do. Yeah. It's got the over-the-top action with an insanely popular star.
Yeah.
You have great sidekicks.
Yep.
There's a lot of humor in there.
So funny.
You know, the other one, though, is because, again, we're not necessarily talking just in terms of, like, what it made at the box office and how it stacks up to other movies.
Right.
But just in terms of, like, a huge blockbuster event. Independence Day was pretty big.
I was thinking Independence Day.
Independence Day was pretty big.
Yeah, Independence Day was huge. I have an aversion to Independence Day because as a tour guide at Universal on July 4th, they literally just play Independence Day on a loop all day long.
And
in the break
issue
room.
is I'm ready to run through a brick wall after that speech. Still. Love that movie.
I also because Independence Day was nominated for Best Kiss the same year that Romeo and Juliet was nominated, and it won over Romeo and Juliet. So I was like, I was pissed that Vivica and Will beat out Leo and Claire.
There's a very, it's not a tiny sliver. It's like an appreciable number, but it's a relatively small group of people who still are just going to cling to that Romeo and Juliet movie and say it was good. And I just missed it. Yeah. I just missed being in that clique that went to go see Romeo and Juliet in theaters.
Yeah.
And it was like a group of high school kids. It wasn't part of my lexicon at all. And I think at some point you and your cronies are just going to have a meeting.
Yeah.
And you're just going to have to acknowledge that we got to leave this thing behind.
So good. Have you seen it?
No.
You've never seen it?
I've seen enough. I've seen clips, which means I've seen enough.
No, it's so fun. Look, it's so Baz Luhrmann. It's so Baz. It's like bananas. It's punchy. It's like it's fucking old Shakespeare set in like Mexico.
Trying to think of the show that I would make you binge in exchange for me watching that movie by itself.
It's 2 hours of your time.
I might make you. You have to binge every episode of Sports Center, and I'll watch Romeo and Juliet from '96.
Are you a Baz Luhrmann fan at all? Because if you don't like Romeo and Juliet, I feel like you're maybe just not a fan. You don't.
I haven't seen most of the movies. The Great Gatsby was like
that's not my favorite. I like Romeo and Juliet much better than Great Gatsby.
But I mean, he did like what, Chicago or Moulin Rouge?
Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, I never saw Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge is fun.
But I hear it's great.
They're all like bright colors, flashy, fun, fast, crazy editing. Romeo and Juliet is my favorite.
I'll figure out a movie that I'm gonna make you watch, and we'll do a trade.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, it's so great. Paul fucking Rudd is in Romeo and Juliet.
Great, good for him. How is that possibly going to sell me? I think Paul Rudd's a treasure. He's not the guy where I'm like, oh, he's in it? Oh, I got to go see what a young Paul Rudd. I can go watch Clueless. Like, they're There's no additional value.
Our friend fucking Jamie Kennedy is in Romeo and Juliet.
I would rather go back and watch Romeo and Juliet for Jamie Kennedy than I would for Paul Rudd. That's not a judgment on either one of them. It's just that, like, I know who Paul Rudd is. I don't need to see every movie.
Paul Rudd's great in it. It's Claire. It's Leo.
I'll go for Leguizamo.
Leguizamo. It's fucking classic.
I might make you watch like JFK or something like that. I'm gonna make you watch a 4-hour movie just to get me through Romeo and Juliet. And I'm gonna come with questions.
Take an edible though. Take a nice edible and then watch it.
Okay, but what happens if the edible does what it inevitably is gonna make me do and make me fall asleep? Okay, if I'm allowed to do drugs doing it, then I'll give it a maximum of 2 nights. But if I fall asleep both nights, it wasn't meant to be.
Okay. But Leo is, you don't understand how unbelievable he looks in this movie. This is where a lot of people think I started from Titanic. The fucking trailer, I was like, it was love at first sight. It was like I was Juliet.
It wasn't Growing Pains.
No.
It wasn't What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
No.
It wasn't The Basketball Diaries.
No, although I did go home and watch that every day after school in like 6th grade.
Yeah, no, your parents weren't worried about you at all.
I know, that's why I'm a comedian.
Sounds like you went to Red Robin a lot.
You guys, this has been so fun. What are your favorite blockbusters? Did you see Twisters? Should this be a 90210 podcast? I feel like I'm going to get a lot of emails being like...
This is exciting, though. And some big upcoming guest breaking news. So.
Yes, regardless, Ian's going to be on the podcast. So we're going to do another 90210, but like, do we want like a full recap where we're unpacked? Because there's a lot to unpack with every episode.
I think episode by episode, I think the fans would tune in.
Would you guys let me know?
Aaron, and I would do that. I would follow you on that journey.
You would?
I would follow you into hell.
I love.
And my idea of hell is Romeo and Juliet. So I would follow you to the gates of hell, and then I'd be like, all right, well, it's been fun. I gotta do some stuff back in the other place.
Mark, where can everyone find you and follow you?
I am at Mark Ellis Live on all the socials. MarkEllis.live is my website, is where you can go get tickets for upcoming shows like Little Rock, August 7th through 10th, and I'm in San Francisco on August 24th.
Perfect. Okay, great. And guys, Columbus, May 14th.
May 14th?
No, sorry, July.
I was going to say, that's a big date you're circling.
14th. What day? What month is it? You guys, it's August 14th. I love you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, good night.